Hi, hello, dear friends, and welcome to my channel, Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. However, today I don't want to craft. I'm going to read a story and I'll tell you how it all started. So, first, let's say hello to everybody. We got Boatman, we got Leslie, we have Pam, and my dear friend Jane is here as well. And if you're new, if you have a channel, please share that you have a channel and that you're new. And we all like to promote ourselves and each other. So if you have a channel and you want to include the link and you see a blue wrenchy person, a person that has a blue name and has a little wrench next to it, ask them to share your channel and they'll be happy to do so. So I hope you're all doing well. Happy Friday. It's a late Friday night for me. The cats are running around bringing in dead lizards. If I see one more dead lizards, there's one of them. There's one kitty down there. So yeah, so it's been quite a busy week, um, and I want to distress. So let's talk about how this all came about. Now you see this lovely little witch back here. Well, her colors reminded me of a book that I remember from when I was a little girl, probably in kindergarten, and it was called The Blue Nose Witch. And after I had mentioned that, everybody said, "Oh, we found it on Amazon." I was like, "Really? Oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that." Because I kept thinking, "Oh, I probably have to find it on a secondhand store." I forgot that Amazon also works with thrift and secondhand store. Hi, Sandra. So I went on Amazon and I found the book. Now, I want you to see the colors, and you see the ink that I used on that witch is that same blue. So, hey, Jody, how you doing? So that's where the idea for this book came into my mind. And then when I bought it and it came in, I thought, what a fun little storytelling time. So, hi, Deborah Cavassa. How are you doing? Hello, everyone in the house. So I figure that storytelling is a craft as well. And I'm sorry, I'm if I'm moving my chair too much, I move my chair. I'm sorry. I swivel. I swivel. I can't help it. So without further ado, and I don't know how long this is going to take, so please bear with me. It's a children's book. It's like, first grade. Hi, JLR. Um, so let's get started. Sweet Ray of Sunshine Crafts. Please, everybody, share your channels and talk amongst you. So, The Blue Nose Witch is written by Margaret Embry, and the pictures are by Carl Rose. You can see my little witch right behind me there. And let's get started. Hi, Raphael. Greetings from NYC. Very nice. Hi, Jane. All right. So I don't know about you, but I like to show the pictures. So here are the illustrations. I will show the illustration first, and that's the blue-nosed witch and her cat. If anybody's read this, do you know what the cat's name is before I start? So everybody can hear me okay? Hi, Guru. Uh-oh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy. Hold on. Now we're ready. We have a black cat, a witch's hat, and a story about a little blue-nosed witch. And if you'll notice, I have a blue nose. I have a blue dot on my nose. Okay, here, sit there, and then we'll start. I thought she was going to knock over my tea. So everybody say hi to Kudu, perfect little black cat. She's always around when I'm doing something witchy. And here we go. Not more than 4 or 5 Halloweens ago, there was a very young witch named Blanche who owned a broom, a black kitten called Brocket, and a bright blue nose. She belonged to a very special scurry of witches, scurry number 13, known in the best witch circles all over the country for its beautiful flight formation. Now you have to remember, I haven't read this in many, many years, so this is just very touching. The Grande Madame, who had been the leader of the club for as long as any of them could remember, flew center front. She used a vacuum cleaner instead of a broom, and when she gunned her motor, it sounded as exciting as a fire siren. On the far right was Minnie Max, waving her blood red fingernails in the dark. They really did shine like rubies. And on the far left was Blanche's best friend, Josephine, who had long yellow fluorescent teeth that gleamed like stars. I don't want yellow fluorescent teeth. In between and a little behind flew the 9 rather ordinary witches who were only expected to follow the Grand Madame's lead and cackle with horrid glee at appropriate times. I would like to know what are the appropriate times to cackle anyway. And last came Blanche, usually far, far behind. If it hadn't been for her marvelous blue nose that she could turn on and off at will, she wouldn't have been allowed at scurry number 3 at all. Blanche was always late. She had good intentions and a dependable alarm clock, but somehow she could never get started any place on time. Something always happened at the last minute to delay her. Brocket, the black kitten, would run away, or Blanche would have misplaced her broom, or she would have to finish her comic, or have just one more piece of bread and peanut butter and honey. Ooh, that sounds good, peanut butter and honey. You see, said Minnie Max to Josephine, Blanche is still just a baby, and she ought to be sent back to scurry number 2.5. Then she'd have to ride a whisk broom and not go any higher than the tops of the poplar trees and never stay out after midnight with the rest of the grown-ups. Oh, I'm going to talk different for each witch. If she's late one more time, I'm going to report her to the Grand Madame. I know Blanche is young and scatterbrained, agreed Josephine, but don't bother the Grand Madame with it, Madame. I'll take care of her. I promise she'll be on time for our next flight meeting. That's Halloween, said Minnie Max. Warned, sharp at midnight, we're taking off from Dead Man's Bluff. Afterwards, if we make a good showing against the moon, there'll be dancing and chanting in a pot of brew. You'd better see that Blanche is at least half an hour early. I'll have her on time, promised Josephine, if I have to set her alarm an hour ahead. As it turned out, Josephine switched the clock ahead not 1 hour, but 2, just for good measure. That probably would have been all right, but Blanche herself, as she was getting ready for bed at noon the day of Halloween, had the same good idea. She wound her clock and set it ahead an extra hour and a half, and then just a little more in case Brocket would be hard to find. But when the alarm shrieked that evening, Brocket for once was perched demurely on the bedpost right where she belonged. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show pictures. Wait, I forgot to show pictures. Oh, so sorry. There are the 2 witches, Minnie Max and Josephine. Hi, Myra. How are you? Oh, hey, Distressed Princess. How you doing? How are you? I was going to ask if you wanted to join reading along with me since you have a copy of the book yourself. So there they are switching the clocks. Oh, my goodness. I got really into the story. Sorry. I was really into it. But when the alarm shrieked that evening, Brocket for once was perched demurely on the bedpost right where she belonged. Her fur newly licked smooth. Oh, I guess so. Blanche yawned and brushed the straw out of her hair and rolled out of bed without her usual dilly-dallying. She washed her face and hands and polished up her blue nose. Her broom was standing neatly behind the kitchen door. I'm showing the book, sorry. Brocket hopped on eagerly. Let's see who else is here. Barbara Jenkins. Oh my goodness, everybody's here. Brocket hopped on eagerly without having to be coaxed. The clock said 12:15, midnight. Actually, of course, it was scarcely 8:30. They put it like 4 hours ahead. Oh my goodness. When they padlocked the front door and poked the key under the mat. It's not very dark out, said Blanche to the kitten as they soared over town. We're probably much, much too early. Wonder if anyone's there yet. Blanche looked down below and saw a strange procession marching along the sidewalk. She dived lower for a better view. There was quite a tall witch in the lead. Why, that looks like Josephine. But whatever is she doing with that crowd? And walking? Maybe her broom broke down. There were 3 ghosts, a pirate, a cowboy carrying a 6-shooter, and a lighted pumpkin, and a gypsy with spangled earrings. I was always a gypsy. What were you always every Halloween? What was your last minute Costume. I always ended up as a gypsy. Blanche settled down on the sidewalk and fell in step behind the tall witch. At once she saw it wasn't Josephine. Oh, excuse me, said Blanche. I thought you were someone I knew. The tall witch turned and stared. She had a rubbery look to her face, and her hair was stringy and obviously false. Josephine was so careful about her hair. The pictures. There's the procession. There she is on her broom. I love the name Josephine. Isn't that pretty? A Halloween parade. Nostalgia. Yes, today is nostalgia night. Hey, shouted one of the ghosts. Where'd you get that bright light, that blue light on your nose? That's really neat. The little pirate pulling at Blanche's skirts pleaded, Let me see it, let me see it. How does it work? Asked the cowboy, setting down his pumpkin. So Blanche showed them. She made her nose glow bright and then fade palely away, then bright again, and wink on and off like a turn signal. Gee, said the cowboy, that's swell. I didn't see anything like that over at the dime store. Where did you buy it? Let me try it, begged the pirate, pulling again. I didn't buy it, Blanchely said primly, and I can't take it off and let you try it. But I'll do it again if you will quit yanking at my dress. There they are. Why am I thinking Rudolph? Yes, I know. This came out in 1950 something or other. 1959? What year is this? Hold on. 1956. 1956, maybe. Maybe they were trying to come up with, instead of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Blanche the Blue-Nosed Witch. I like that. Blanche the Blue-Nosed Witch. Okay. Leave her alone, Butch, said the tall witch, giving the pirate a shove. Turning to Blanche, she explained, He's my little brother. I told Mother he was too young to go out Halloweening with us, but he was always has to tag along. Oh, that's all right, Blanche said generously. I don't mind letting him see if he wants to. She leaned down to Butch so he could feel her nose carefully. Hey, if you show us how the switch works, I'll give you one of my jelly donuts. Jelly donut? These kids got jelly donuts? Okay. The biggest ghost offered, holding out a brown paper bag. I want a jelly donut. What time does Duncan close? Oh, that sounds so good. Blanche grinned at them. There really isn't a switch at all, she said. It just works by concentration. I think about lighting up my nose and it begins to glow. When I want it to shine very bright, I think hard like this. She wrinkled her forehead and squinted her eyes. The nose glowed as bright and clear blue. See? Simply concentration. The ghost opened his bag. That's really super. Here, have a donut. Dang donut. Blanche reached in eagerly. Oh, the mid-century drawings. I know. And golly, I like that time. Donut was a treat for my favorite part of a book, right? They must have gone to a party at the firehouse. Oh, that's true. Blanche hadn't had a jelly donut in weeks and weeks. Where did you get these? They're wonderful, she said, chewing happily. Over at Smith's, they have the best stuff. Last year it was caramel apples. Come along and we'll show you which house. Blanche trailed along willingly, with Butch, the pirate, holding firmly to her hand. What's your name? He asked as they walked along. I'm Blanche, she said. Blanche who? Butch's sister, the tall witch, asked. Just Blanche. She's Blanche Witch, that's who, Butch said reasonably. The cowboy turned around mischievously and said, Which witch? And the ghost joined in with great glee. Blanche Witch, wait, Blanche Witch, that's which witch. Oh my goodness. Okay. They climbed the steps to Smith's front porch, all chanting with refrain. Blanche Witch, that's which witch. The gypsy rang the doorbell. A man with white hair opened the door. He gaped. But Candy or cake or your windows will. Dang. Candies or cake or your windows will break. Like, you couldn't say trick or treat. What the heck is that? All right. But you, oh, wait, I gotta go. I'm sorry. If I offend any Southerners, I'm sorry, but I just feel like you should be a Southerner over here. But you kids have all been here before, he protested. Yes, but she hasn't, they laughed, pushing Blanche in front of Mr. Smith. Her nose turns on and off, said the pirate. Show him. Blanche showed him obligingly. Say, that's really something, said the man. Come here, mother, and see this. I love this. I love this. It's just that little picture. Okay. A lady sitting in a rocking chair got up and came over to the door. She gave a little gasp when she saw Blanche's nose. Whatever will they think of next, these modern kids? Sure, that's worth 2 donuts at least, said Mr. Smith. Hold your sack. She hasn't got one, said the pirate, who had noticed right away. Mrs. Smith bustled right off to her kitchen and returned with a brown paper bag. There now, she said, and here are 3 jelly donuts, and I put in some nuts and candy corn too, because you might not have time to go to many other houses. Thank you, ma'am, said Blanche, remembering her manners. And please, could you tell me what time it is? Her husband pulled out his pocket watch. Let's see. It's just 6.5 minutes after 9 o'clock. 6.5 minutes, dude, that's really precise. 6.5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Just after 9 o'clock, Blanche asked, bewildered. But I thought it was nearly midnight. The time seems to be all turned around. It usually is on Halloween, laughed Mr. Smith. Anything can happen tonight. Well, good night, kids, and don't soap any windows. Wow, they would soap windows too. Jeez. We won't, they shouted, racing down the steps. Good night and thanks. Well, at least they said thanks. Hi, Crafty Visage. Modern kids, right? Okay, wait, let's drink. Let's drink. I'm going to take a drink. What page are we on? It doesn't even have page numbers. Why doesn't it not have page numbers? It doesn't have page numbers. Okay. Okay. Do you like it so far? You guys like it? You're happy? Is it fun? All right. They stopped at the corner and looked at each other uncertainly, trying to decide just what to do next. Uh-oh, cried Blanche in a panic. I've lost my broom and my cat. She lost her broom and her cat because she was getting jelly donuts. Okay. Watch your cats when you're getting jelly donuts. That's all I'm saying. Okay. What about eggs and toilet paper, eh? Oh, the tall witch stared at her. Broom? You didn't have any broom with you. She did too, the pirate said, with a little black kitty sitting on the sweet part. On the sweet part, yeah. I bet she left it back on Maple Street, where we stopped to look at her nose, said the gypsy. Let's all walk back and help her find her stuff. This is nice. Okay. The gypsy was right. The broom was exactly where Blanche had left it, leaning on a tree. Brocket was perched up in the branches, spitting at a yellow dog who was circling around below. Brocket refused to come down until the cowboy shooed the dog away. Then she jumped lightly down onto her mistress's shoulder. There are the pictures. Dee. Okay. This is fun. I like doing this. You know what? I might read the Christmas Mouse for you guys since I have the Christmas Mouse, but I'll read that closer to Christmas. And breathe, and here we go. Blanche shifted the kitten to a more comfortable position and looked around happily. Well, what do we do now? There's plenty of time. I can go to only one more place, said the short ghost, so let's hurry. Yes, we promised Mom we'd have him back by 9:15, said the biggest ghost. No, it was 9:30, said the middle-sized ghost. As long as we're out this far, the gypsy suggested, why don't we circle back by way of Old Man Skinner's house? He has apples. The others stared at the gypsy in alarm. Old Man Skinner doesn't sound too good. He's mean, the pirate explained to Blanche. He sure is, the cowboy nodded in agreement and set down his pumpkin. Old Man Skinner said we stole his apples, and we didn't. The wind blew them down, but he wouldn't believe us. That was way last year, said the gypsy. He's maybe changed his mind by now. And everybody says he's got the best apples in town. I'd sure like one now. Let's go. She started walking. That gypsy, she's just trouble. Gypsy's just trouble. Old Man Skinner doesn't sound too good. So I don't know why they're messing with him. Not Old Man Skinner, I know, right? They only have like two little pictures here. There's one of Old Man Skinner like hitting a bird. Okay, so let's continue. Bet he hasn't changed, said the biggest ghost, holding back the other two ghosts. He hit my dog with a he hit my dog with a rock last summer just because we were cutting across the back of his lot on our way down to the creek. Yeah, Old Man Skinner's got a slingshot and he's a good shot with it too, said the middle-sized ghost. I've seen him hit birds with it way up on telephone wires. He said they were eating his cherries. Oh, that was last spring, said the gypsy airily. Let's go out and call on him. Gypsy. Maybe he's lonely, said Blanche. Oh, that was sweet. She was thinking of those apples. We can say trick or treat very politely, and maybe he'll treat us for once. The cowboy picked up his pumpkin. I'm game, Blanche, he said. I'll go with you, but I can't tell you right now he doesn't like kids, especially on Halloween. Cutting across the yard, yeah, right? Ooh, okay. But he's never seen Blanche, the tall witch said. Maybe if he saw her wonderful nose. Yes, said the gypsy. Let's go out there and show him Blanche's keen blue nose. Then maybe he'll give us some apples. He got some special good ones this year. I saw them on the trees. They formed another procession. Blanche was in the lead in this bunch. She carried her broom over her shoulder with Brockett sitting in the place on the end. The road was long and twisty. Blanche was limping a little before they got there. Her feet hurt because she wasn't used to walking for so long. But she didn't let on. Here they are. Everybody, every old neighborhood that I remember, there was always that crotchety old man or scary old woman. And then there was all these stories you would come up with, and then you had to go up to the door and knock on it. Remember that? Oh, fun times, fun times, fun times. There was a light behind the curtains of Mr. Skinner's house and smoke coming out of his chimney. They climbed onto the porch, giggling nervously. Miss Gypsy gave a brave 1, 2, 3 knock. No answer. He must be home, whispered the tall witch. He has a fire in his fireplace. They waited. Then all of them pounded noisily. At once the door opened a crack, and a thin, long nose hanging over a tight little mustache poking out at them. The cowboy raised his pumpkin, even though the candle was burned out by now. Trick or treat, he said hopefully. At this, the door opened wider. Two suspicious eyes glared. Halloweening, is it? You young pests, go home where you belong. I've no time for your nonsense. Please, sir, said Blanche sweetly, may we have some apples? Apples, snorted the man. He scowled at Blanche a moment, then said, Want some apples, eh? You wait right here. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. As soon as he had disappeared, the gypsy and the tall witch nodded as if to say, Didn't we tell you? But the pirate said, Maybe he didn't go to get the apples. Maybe he went for his slingshot. Yeah, I go with you, pirate. Shut up, Butch, his sister whispered. He's gone down to the cellar for apples. What do you guys all say? Ours was Mrs. Ford. She just didn't want them trampling her pretty flowers. She would turn her hose on us. Ooh, okay. There's no picture. Oh, wait, I forgot to show a picture of the house. There's a house. I'm so sorry. Can't set a scene without a picture. Okay. Shut up, Butch. He's gone down to sell it for apples. The gypsy shook her earrings and straightened her scarf. She wasn't so sure. She wasn't so sure now. Trying to show the book here. I want to go home, said the smallest ghost in a trembling voice. Yes, said the biggest ghost shakily too. We promised Mom we'd be home with him by 9:15. At that moment, Mr. Skinner returned holding a small cardboard box filled with some smallish apples. Okay. Thanks. Gee, thanks. Everybody said surprised I'm surprised too, as he handed the apples around. The apples looked red and good in the light. I bet you they got worms. They got worms. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 Okay. So wait, here he is. Here he is giving them the apples. Okay. All right. Oh, it's okay. I don't know. I think they're wormy. Let's see. All right. The apples looked red and good in the light from the door. Everybody at about the same time bit into them. Ew, they all said, spitting out. Mr. Skinner, really? The apples were mushy and brown inside and tasted terrible. Ya came here yapping for apples, didn't ya? Yapped Mr. Skinner. He yapped too. They yapped and he yapped. Yapped Mr. Skinner. And I gave you apples, didn't I? What's the matter? Aren't they good enough for you? They were good enough last year when you came around and tried to steal them and broke all my tree limbs. No, we didn't, honest, Mr. Skinner, pleaded the biggest ghost. And who stole all my green corn and frightened my hens so they wouldn't lay? And then you come around here begging for my good apples? Well, they're all picked and sold, so you can just go home or I'll... Flash your nose at him, whispered the pirate, tugging at Blanche's skirt. Scare him. Blanche winked her nose on and off, venomously, but he just snorted at her and slammed the door. Why, he wasn't even impressed, said the gypsy in fury. It's a perfectly frightening nose, too. There you go. They were nasty apples. Ooh, okay, get ready, people. Let's soap the windows, said the middle-sized ghost. Anybody got some soap? Too bad none of the kids carry it anymore, sighed the tall witch. It'd be good to have some in case of an emergency like this. I know, Blanche whispered. Brockett, you do something. Up on that windowsill with you and give him the you-know-what. What's the you-know-what? The you-know-what? Oh, first of all, that's them eating the apples. Ooh, what's the you-know-what? Hoodoo! What's the you-know-what? Black cats must know how to do that. Give him the you-know-what. I don't know what that is. The black cat's eyes got yellower. Softly, she leaped up onto the windowsill, then stretched up onto her hind legs and scratched with her front claws up and down the screen. Oh, she ruined it. It sounded worse than gravel being grated on a sidewalk and squeaky chalk on a blackboard. On top of this, she let out a caterwauling yowl that tore through the night. That's what's what. Okay. The door flew open and out rushed Mr. Skinner, madder than an old hornet. He had his slingshot and he's going to slingshot these children? Jeez, Lord. Okay. Everybody turned at once and fled. He took after them down the road, but he was too angry to aim well. The stones from his slingshot splattered at their feet and nobody was hit. On her broom, meanwhile, Blanche spiraled around the house and up the chimney. Smoke was curling out of it. He got a mighty cozy fire down there, she said to herself, but he won't have it for long. Ooh, this is a vengeful little witch. Bye. Well, the stress princess had to go. Sorry. You can come back and listen to the rest with the kids. And if you have kids, I hope they're listening. Whew, okay. Okay, wait. Let me drink. Let me drink. Madder than a hornet. Right? They don't write books like these anymore. She landed on the steep ridge of the roof and then climbed cautiously down to the big brick chimney. Leaning her broom against it, she boosted herself up so she could blow down it. Ooh. Putting a hearth fire out was a trick that Minnie Max had taught her only a week or so before, and this was Blanche's first try to do it by herself. She took a big breath of air and blew down the chimney as hard as she could, thinking just the right words as she did this and giving each blow the right swirl. Okay. With the third blow down, the smoke slunk back. She raised her head and took another deep gulp of fresh air and blew down the chimney again. She blew again and again and again until her ears buzzed and her nose turned green. Wow, from blue to green. All right. Down below, the smoke came out of the open door into a great cloud. Mr. Skinner, thinking for sure his house was on fire, stopped chasing his visitors and ran back towards the porch. Branch straddled her broom and gave a spring up into the air. Down she swooped over his head, buzzing at him and laughing, but he was running too fast for her to see her. For fast to see her. She caught up with the rest of the crowd on the corner of Maple Street, where they had gathered around Brockett. The gypsy was trembling so much her earrings were jingling like sleigh bells. The short ghost had a torn his sheet, and the eye holes in his pillowcases were switched way around to the back of his head so he couldn't see which way he was going. Golly, breathed the cowboy as Blanche dismounted from her broom. That sure beats walking. All right. There they are. Oh my goodness. This is tiring. This is fun. I miss reading to my children. Do you guys read to your kids? I told my kids I was reading tonight, hoping that they would show up live, but they're busy. They're busy. Okay. No. Oh yeah. It doesn't have a switch either. The tallest. Does it have a switch either? The tallest ghost asked. Blanche smiled. No, it doesn't need a switch. Not even an engine, asked the middle ghost. Blanche thought a minute. Well, I guess there's a sort of one. What kind of fuel do you use? The tallest ghost asked again. Well, Blanche hesitated again. The cowboy said, it doesn't need fuel, dope. It works by concentration, just like her nose. Yes, I guess that's it, said Blanche. I think how high I need to fly, and that's all there is to it. Let me try it, the pirate begged. I can concentrate. No, you don't, said his sister. You'd fall off and break your arm just like you did on the tire swing. It only works for me, said Blanche. I've got to go home, said the smallest ghost in a muffled tone, trying to pull his pillowcase straight. So have we, the tall witch said, grabbing at her little brother. So long, Blanche. Here, I want to give her these first, said the pirate, wriggling out of her grasp. He dropped 3 sticky black jelly beans into Blanche's sack. When she tried to thank him, he shouted back, Oh, that's all right. I only like the orange kind. Do you like black jelly beans? My mom used to love black jelly beans because they tasted of anise. So there he is putting the jelly beans in the pouch. Isn't that cute? Oh, that's nice, Leslie. Sometimes I wonder if I should have been a teacher, a first grade teacher. I don't have a lot of patience. I don't know. I do like reading. I should start reading at like the library or something. Maybe I'll read this at a library sometime soon. Blanche and Brockett soared over the town again. The streets were nearly deserted and most of the houses were dark. I can't understand why people always want to go to bed so early, just when things are beginning to get interesting, right? I mean, that's how I felt. You love black jelly beans, and my mom loved them too. A little, a little farther on, she looked down and saw a lighted house with several cars parked along the street in front of it. Ooh, look, there she is. There she is. Look, maybe it's a party and they might have some extra candy and nuts. Ooh, she's a glutton, aren't we all? At Halloween. She landed expertly on the front lawn, and almost before she could ring the bell, the door was opened wide. Hello, said a man. Come on in. Oh, I thought you were the Jennings. They're late and everyone else is here. Oh my, said a lady looking over her shoulder. It's just a little girl. And look at that cute costume. Out by yourself Halloweening, dear? Halloweening. Never heard that. Are you Halloweening? Halloweening? I didn't know that could be a verb. Is that a verb? Halloweening. Okay. Blanche nodded and winked her nose at them. Trick or treat? She asked properly. Hey, everybody, come here, said the man excitedly. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, everybody, come here, said the man excitedly. Look at this. She's got a neon nose. A dozen people got up out of their chairs and came over to crowd around the door. What a darling little kitty, said one lady, leaning down to pick up Brockett. Be careful, ma'am, said Blanche. She doesn't like humans very much. Oh, listen to that. She said humans, just like she was like a real little witch. Isn't she precious? Oh, I love that. Aren't you out pretty late by yourself? Asked another lady, looking at her watch. What will your mother say? It's almost midnight. Then Blanche remembered the flight meeting. It would be leaving sharp at midnight from Dead Man's Bluff. I love this. Look at everybody in their like cocktail. They're having a cocktail in the 50s. I love that. That is really cute. Oh, I like this. Thank you for letting me share this with you all. My first time reading it in 50 years or so. Wow. Excuse me, everybody, she cried out. I've got to go right now. I'm going to be late again. But they made her wait while they filled her brown paper bag with chocolate mints, salted nuts, pumpkin seeds, and pretzels. Then they made her wink her nose on and off for them just one more time. Don't fall off your broom, little witch, said one lady fondly as Blanche ran down the front steps. Afterwards, the lady peered out the window over the door and gave a scream. I'm positively sure I saw that little girl hop on her broom and fly away. The other people at the party roared with laughter and wouldn't believe she wasn't joking. Aloft in the late night air, Blanche wasn't laughing. She was worried. It looked as though, after all her trouble in trying to get started on time, she was going to be late somehow. As she came to Dead Man's Bluff for a landing, she could see all the witches in scurry, lined in flight formation. Minnie Max was pulling out her watch to show Josephine and saying triumphantly, You see, I told you she'd be late again. Blanche settled down meekly at the end of the formation. At least they hadn't taken off yet. Scurry number 13 made a beautiful showing against the moon that Halloween night. There's a picture of the cocktail people, and that's her rushing on her broom. Hey, Barbara, how are you doing? Oh, this is the first page I've seen. Page number, page 45. Wow, 45. And we're going to probably finish in a minute or two. Oh, wait, I missed a line. And afterwards, they danced and sang and had refreshments up on Dead Man's Bluff. Josephine ladled out the brew while Blanche passed around the nuts, candy, pretzels, and the 3 jelly donuts. carefully cut in quarters. Mighty good donuts, said the grand madame, looking around for more. Where did you say you got them, Blanche? Out trick or treating, said Blanche. That's what made me late tonight. But you meet the most interesting people that way. If you ladies think you can find time for it next Halloween, I'll take you along too. Ah, look at them all eating their donuts, which is like donuts. The end. That's it. The end of The Blue-Nosed Witch. Thank you so much. What did you think? I think it's a winner. I love this. I still love this book. I was looking for, I mean, this is a hardcover, but I was looking for a hardcover, which what I'm talking about, right? But this is, they had, this was like paperbacks back in the day. Stella Luna. Oh, I love Stella Luna. You know which one's another? Oh my gosh, Erin is here. You know which is another? So let's talk about fun stories to read to kids during Halloween. I love Stella Luna as well, but I love Room on a Broom. If you haven't seen Room on a Broom, it should be read every Halloween. Room on a Broom is the most adorable storybook ever. It's just so cute, and there's a dog and a cat, and they just keep making room on a broom for this poor witch. It's the cutest story. Oh, thank you, Sandra. This is so fun. So, if you haven't read The Blue-Nosed Witch, there it is. I hope you can share it with all of your family members, your little family members especially. I hope you can share this with them later. Maybe later, closer to Halloween, you want to bring out this video and share it again. And I'd be more than happy. Oh, I love that. I used to read it to my classes when I used to teach. Yes. So maybe I'll read Room on a Broom. I'll see if I can find Room on a Broom, and I'll find other classic, wonderful Halloweeny stories for us to share. I love reading out loud, as you can tell. I love becoming the characters in the book. And I just love sharing what I love with all of you. So I don't want to keep you any longer. And as I always say, stay safe, be kind. God bless each and every one of you. And remember to live the adventure. Tomorrow, I have a special video. Grabby reached out to me. If you don't know what Grabby is, it's a subscription book for paper crafting. They reached out to me and gave me a wonderful Halloween crafting book box. Oh my gosh. It's wonderful for scrapbooking, for journaling, for making a ton of different crafts. I only made 2 crafts because I had other things I needed to do, but you'll see more of those products coming out later. And more exciting is that they also sent me an extra Halloween box to give to one of you. So watch my video tomorrow and remember to comment on it as I request, and I will explain more of that in the video and in the description. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be, why am I doing this with the book? I'm not selling the book. I'm not selling the book. I love the book. But I will be premiering at 3 p.m. with 2 little crafts and an unboxing of the Grabby Halloween box. And it's a preview because I don't know if it's available yet. I think it's available this week now. So I received it like a week ago. So it's a lot of fun. I hope you like it. Anyway, I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you once again. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you again very soon. Good night. Bye.